Hello there fellow modelers, Steve here. Today's video is the completion of my second entry to Russell Gosling's D-Day group build. A progress on how far I've got with me Catalina for the flying boat group build, and some acquisitions that I got at a model show that me and my wife went to last Sunday. And it's lovely and cool up here because I've got the window open, and it's a nice, well, it's okay outside. It's not like the rain that was in the last video. That was a tremendous thunderstorm. That it's quite cool outside, and it's alright. It's warm. So we'll get straight onto it. Right, move the camera. And there is my FW190 fully completed and standing on the diorama with two figures. We've got a Luftwaffe pilot, which I assume is Pip's Priller, and he's aircraft fitter. Now I had no problem with this kit going together, no problems at all. A bit of filler underneath, but that was about it. For a kit that's over 30 years old, I couldn't fault it. No problem at all. And the markings went on okay as well. Just a bit of modification because on the... this was a Matchbox kit, and this was... it did have 13, so I assume that it was another aircraft maybe of JG13. But it had a really eagle there, like an eagle shape. But on the original, the Airfix Pip Priller's kit, which is there, it didn't have it on, so I had to modify it by cutting it off there, but it's worked out okay. And I got some aftermarket swastikas from a company called Kits World. So I've got a load of swastikas if I build German kits. Mostly, well, due for authenticity really, not as a fan of the Nazi regime. And we'll spin it round. Well, this looks it's a really a big, well, it was called the Butcher Bird. It's got a long dangly undercarriage, wide track, which was made, I assume, for better handling than its predecessor, the ME109, which had a narrow undercarriage. And there's the other side of it. Now something else that I had to modify was on the Airfix kit, Pip's Priller, he had an Ace of Hearts there underneath his cockpit with his girlfriend's name on, which was soon to become his wife. I think she was called Joanna. Now this one would have been a 1/48 scale. I didn't have one, so I had to make one just out of a decal. I'll do a bit of zooming in there, and a red heart shaped, which I think's worked out kind of good. I couldn't fit the name on. I haven't got anything that small. And I'll give you a look at the other side. No problem at all. And this camouflage on the side, it's like a spotted mottled type thing. What I did with there is, I'll just move the camera a bit. I've got a paintbrush where there we are. A big thick paintbrush, and levelled it off on the end and just dipped it in the paint like that and just dabbed it on, and it seems to have worked okay because it was a different colour to the wing camouflage, but it's worked out okay. Now I'll go in, try and get a zoom in the cockpit. Now there's a detail, I think I painted it on, of the control column, but you can hardly really see it. I don't want to go too far in case it's just black, because it's got a black seat, but I put some seat belts in, which is there, and they've worked out quite well, and the canopy, which I'm getting really good at now. Room for improvement. Now the pilot and the aircraft fitter, these kits were fantastic. I got these, well, it's originally a kit from the Ukraine. I've put it away now. German ground crew and pilot, German air crew and ground crew, German air crew and ground crew, Luftwaffe 1939-45. The detail on them, amazing. I'll go to zoom in close for the pilot. You can see the detail on his jacket. And you can also see his Luftwaffe Eagle, which was there. Let's see if I can get a close-up. There, that's a bit better. And that's a bit blurred. That's as close as I can get it, really. You can see the Iron Cross and his his Luger holder, and also the wings on his hat, and the same with the aircraft fitter. Now the only problem I had with that is it was originally supposed to be flat black, but I've painted it gloss black and it looks like he's got a wetsuit on. But that's worked out okay. And the diorama was just a bit of plasterboard. Zoom out. Marked out as a runway with a bit of grass. The same grass that I used for me previous D-Day entry, which has worked out okay. And I'll do an upshot of it. But I think I've done a very good job with that. I'm very pleased with it. I especially like the Fokker Wolf. This was the, what was this? It was the 190A, I think. But it was, had very various marks. Better rated engine, more gun armament. There was a fighter bomber version and a long nose version. High altitude version, more speed. And the propeller moves as well. I'll just lift it up and I'll show you the bottom of it. No problem with that colour either. The inside of the wheel wells have got a lot of detail on, but I've just left it as grey. I had no problem with the decals on that side either. Put the canopy back on. But a very good build. I really enjoyed it. And that's my second entry, which will be done. It's done because today's D-Day, but probably when I upload it'll be tomorrow. But that's finished anyway, so I'll put that back on there and we'll sit down. Right, now I've got a bit of information on Josef Priller, the pilot himself, just something that I downloaded off the internet. Right, now pronunciation of German, I apologise to any German listeners, it's what I can pronounce. Some of it I can get away with, but others not. Right, we'll go on it. Now, Josef Pips Priller, why he was called Pips, I think it was because he was a smallish bloke. Pips Priller, he was born in the town of Ingolstadt, apologies to any German listeners, on the 27th of July 1915, and he joined the Luftwaffe in 1935. And at the outbreak of war he was serving with the pre-war fighter unit that was designated JG-71, but it was later redesignated as JG-51, and he became the squadron leader soon after. He made his first victory claims in May 1940 over Dunkirk against the Royal Air Force. He claimed 6 victories during the French campaign, and by the end of August his victory total had risen to 15. In October, Priller claimed his 20th kill, resulting in the award of the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross. In November 1940, Priller was transferred to JG-26, and between the 16th and 11th of July, between the 16th of June on the 11th of July 1941, he claimed 19 RAF aircraft, and he was awarded the Oak Leaves to his Knight's Cross on October 1941 for 41 victories. He was now a Hartmann, which I think is the German equivalent of a captain. He became the group commander of JG-26 in December 1941 with a score of 58. Now he was a small bloke, 5 feet 4 inches tall, but he was of stocky build and he was a jovial character, and he was very popular with his men, even though he did have a reputation for talking back to his superiors, so he was a bit of a thorn in their side. But he skillfully utilised the limited resources of JG-26 in northwest Europe in order to inflict the maximum damage on the RAF Fighter Command sweeps that occurred throughout the summer campaigns of 1941 to 1943. He recorded his 70th victory in May 1942, and by the end of that year Priller had added 11 more confirmed victories to his tally. In January 1943, Priller became wing commander of JG-26, and by now the increasing US bomber offensive was putting pressure on the Luftwaffe fighter force in the west, and JG-26's losses rose alarmingly in 1943. The night prior to the Normandy invasion, Priller and his wingman, Heinz Wadersex, I apologise, they actually got drunk and they subsequently attacked the beachhead while they were hungover. Priller brought down his 100th victim in July 1944, a United States Army Air Force consolidated B-24 Liberator. And on New Year's Day 1944, which has got 1945 here, but that's wrong, he led JG-26 in the ill-fated mass attack on the Allied airfields in Operation Bodenplatte, an operation that saw his wingman killed. Later that month, Priller was appointed to the staff job of the Inspector of Day Fighters. During the war, Josef Priller, he flew 1,307 combat missions, to claim 101 victories. All of his victories were recorded over the Western Front, and they consisted of 11 United States Army Air Force heavy bombers, 68 Spitfires, the highest Luftwaffe aces tally for this type, 11 Hurricanes, 5 medium bombers, and 5 United States Army Air Force fighters. And after the war, he became the general manager of the S. Riegel Brewery after his marriage to the owner. He did well there. Johanna Riegel Priller, who was the name that he carried on his fighter. And he was one of several D-Day combatants to advise on the making of the film The Longest Day, in which he was portrayed by Hans Reineck. He died suddenly on the 20th of May 1961 from a heart attack in Bobbing, Upper Bavaria, and he's buried in the Western Cemetery in Augsburg. And his decorations were a wound badge in black, a front flying clasp of the Luftwaffe, a combined pilot's observation badge, the Iron Cross Second Class and the Iron Cross First Class, the German Cross in gold, the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross with oak leaves and swords. And he was also mentioned twice in dispatches, on the 2nd of May 1942 and the 8th of October 1944. And that's it. I don't know if you can see, but there's a picture of him, if he's not too close up. So that's that. So that's that completed. And it's been an excellent build, and it's D-Day today. And I'm going to watch a programme on D-Day tonight, about 9:30. So I'd like to thank Mike, Nigel, Mark and Gav for holding the event, and also to Russell Goslin for starting the event, but obviously had to retire from it, and I hope everything's okay with you. And there's been some fantastic builds over the months. I can't name really any, but well, there's Frankie Deere, he's doing his C47. Now I've never watched the end yet, and also Panzerman Bill. Alright there, Bill? Now he only come into it on Monday, and he's doing some paratroopers with a German machine gun crew. The paratroopers are from the Screaming Eagles, the US 101st Airborne Division, which is an excellent choice because I love that bald eagle patch. And I was looking at his video, he's I think it was stage 2, and he's got the wooden wall with the window, and it looks fantastic. How he does it I don't know, and he's supposed to be going to be finishing it today with the soldiers as well. If not today, definitely tomorrow. Right, so now we're going to go on to progress with me Catalina for Chancellor North Wales and Radsky 76's flying boat group build. I'll just get this. Now I've got the wing finished, and there it's there. Now what I'm going to do with this is, I'm not going to glue it onto the fuselage straight away. I'm going to paint it, because it might work out a bit difficult when it's on there, painting it like that. And I've checked the gaps, and there's no gaps when you put it on, so it should look alright. But the top is it's like a midnight blue type of colour, and the bottom is a white with the yellow wingtips and the floats. And there's the fuselage, which I've got completed. Now if you look at that, it's going to take up a hell of a lot of space, this. A really broad plank-like wing. So that's that. And something else that I'm doing, which doesn't actually finish till next year, which is Tactical Jackalope's Recce Group build. Well, I'm doing the B-24 Liberator, which is not like that, it's the RAF version. Now I've got the wings done. They're all done, and the propellers are up there, they're done as well. And obviously the fuselage isn't together yet, it's going to have a bit more painting on the inside. But that's a slow progress because it's a really long group build. And I'll be starting this possibly at the weekend. The Mach 1 Bell X1 for Frankie Deere's Historical Aircraft Group build. I've put that off until I got the diorama finished, and I haven't actually started Aaron Newland's community build. Well, that isn't finished till December. I've got plenty of time to do that. Now we're going to the acquisitions I got. Now me and my wife went to the Northern Model Show on Sunday, which was held in North Shields, which is just up the road from where I live. It was a very sunny day, no rain at all, and it was a good day out. Some fantastic models on display. I've got a load of photos on my camera, and I'm going to do a slideshow and upload it onto YouTube, but I'll have to wait for that because I'll have to figure out how to do it, because I've never done it, and there's a horn outside. I've never figured out how to do that yet, so that'll be probably over the weekend. But I'll show you the kits that I got, because I got some good bargains. First off, I got this, which is a Hobby Boss 148 FJ4 Fury. It's a big aeroplane. There's the canopy went on the floor. If you look at the size of the wings, it's pretty big. And this I got for the pricey sum of £8. You can't see that, but now I don't know how much these go. 1/48 scale Hobby Boss. It's a 2007 kit, so it's a fairly, it's 7 years old, so it's fairly recent. I would probably say at least between 15 and 20 quid. That was a bargain, that. Another bargain I got, well they were all bargains really, was an SC, an ESCI, a MiG-27 Flogger D 1/48 scale. And I actually got this for £8 as well. Now I've never heard of this make, but looking on the back here, it's made in Dyersville, Iowa, in the good old US of A. I've never made a Russian aircraft before. Maybe Chance has made one of these because he's a big fan of Russian aircraft. But this was a bargain as well, so that was £8. And I also got this, which I've been after one of these for a while because I'm a bit hooked on armour now. That's because I'm watching too many of Mike's videos and he's a real armour nut, but he does them good. Excellent, in fact. Now this one, which is a Matilda 1/35 scale. I've been after one of them for ages to do a, I don't know when I'll build it, but at least I've got it. I fancy doing something, because it was operated mainly in the desert, but it fought in France in around the Dunkirk period, and I know the Australians used a version in New Guinea, but you associate mainly the Matilda with the Western Desert. And that's quite a big kit as well. The tracks are okay as well. If they go together the same as the one, the Rommel half track, the tracks were good on them. Now I like this size of armour. I've did a 1/72 scale Sherman for my first group build for D-Day, and it's far too small. I haven't really got the patience for anything that tiny with little tiny wheels like that. I did it, but I could have did it better. But that one, and that was £10. Now I don't know how much these go for on eBay. Maybe you can enlighten us, Mike, because you've probably bought a few of these. I would say about 15 at least. I've seen them in the shops and they're at least £15. But that was a bargain, that. Because even the guy that sold it said it was a bargain. But he would say that, wouldn't he? Salesman. And the last one I got was this one, which is a 75mm anti-tank gun. Now I wanted one of these, and I got this for £5. Now I've priced these on the internet, and they're at least 10, plus the postage and packing. Now I wanted one of these for Mike Cohen's Kursk group build. I'm doing a Stuka, but this is going to be incorporated into the little diorama as well. And that's 1/35 scale, so that's pretty big as well. So I'm glad I got that. So that's 4 kits I got. I mean, I could have bought more, but where does it stop? Now this one is a one that I've got through the post, and it's for Aston M 1965. Alright there, Charlie, it's for his World War I group build, and that doesn't start till the 28th of July. And I'm doing this, which is the Albatross D3. It's a very small kit, but it should be okay. Now there was a guy at the model show, and all he did was biplanes, and he had kits this small going up to 1/48 scale. And all of them, I think all of them had the rigging on. And I says to him, how do you do rigging on something that small? He says, well, it's trial and error really. And if you do it with the special stuff, it looked like fishing wire. But they were fantastic the way he did all the rigging. I mean, you can see the rigging. I'm not going to attempt to do the rigging on this. I think just to build it. But it's a colourful kit, and that'll be very good. I'll do a review of that nearer the time. So that's all my kits. I'm glad I got that finished anyway. So that's my two group builds I've got finished in the last couple of weeks, and I'll post the photos off to the group build 1, and that's, you know, that's officially the D-Day group build has ended today, but it's open till I think the 20th, around about the 20th of June, because I know I was reading one of Mike's looking at one of Mike's videos, and he says don't rush it. He says you've got plenty of time, but he's not going to start the slideshow till about 27th of June. He says 26th of June, start worrying. But I've got them done anyway, and I didn't rush it, and it's turned out well, and I'm very pleased with it. But it's been a good group build, that. Spread over the months, I've managed to get 2 in. I don't think there's many people that have did 2, but even if you did 1, you've participated in it, and that's the whole point. Participate in it and have fun. Right, what time is it now? 8:15. That's me done for now. Then I'll do a bit, well, I've got a day off tomorrow. Probably Sunday I'll do some more on it. And I'll try and figure out that slideshow, because there were some good models there. Even the figures were good as well. They had a one of the Terminator with his face where it come all the way and had the red eye on it. It was just brilliant. It was a good day, that. And they were giving prizes out at the end as well. And there was a young lad, he was how old was he, about 8 or something. He won a prize. And there was actually I know this was a discussion a couple of, I think last month ago, why there is no female modelers. But there was actually, well, there was a woman and a girl, maybe she was probably about 14, 15. They were both competition winners as well. The woman, I think she did, it was an Eddie Stubbard truck, and that looked good. But I forget what the lass did, but I know she bought a fairy swordfish. So they are about, very few and far between, but they are, which is good. Right, so happy modelling, all you guys out there. Take care, and I'll see yous on the next video. Bye now.